there's a lot of things that I feel like I lost in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, as I'm meeting people like yourself and other, like I said, other people, business partners, I'm noticing energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? It cannot be lost, but it's just transitioning and just coming into me in a doper form. You know what I'm saying? And I just have to be willing to accept and be open to what's happening right in front of me now, rather than being like I woulda, coulda, shoulda, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, I just said that the first time to myself right now. So
You felt it. I was with you because I was like, I felt it too. Like, yep.
oh,
Yeah, I just keep it steady on the magic. Do my thing, I'm healing, it's fantastic. If I fall, rise automatic. You ain't no now, you know. On the one rain myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl raising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout take off. Ooh, she bout.
What up, y'all? It is your girl, Hanna. You already know. If you are part of the fam, go ahead and call me Rutha. Y'all, we are back for another installment of your favorite, my favorite, everybody's favorite, Uproot Your Thoughts, the newest segment on the Uprooted Network. And, I just wanted to cut to the meat and potatoes. I've listened to y'all. I have heard over and over again, every time I meet people, y'all just have all the questions of like, yeah, I want you to talk about this. I want to get deeper into this. I want to understand. And I was like, you know what? Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and make the show about that. Let's just go get to the root of things. Let's uproot some of those thoughts that are maybe not helping you get to where you need to go. And this is what I do every day. It's my bread and butter. I love it. I meet dope people and then I bring them to you. And that's all we doing. We just sharing dope people, energy, and stories. And so today I'm excited to bring to y'all someone that I got to recently meet in person finally, but been in classes with for some months. Part of my business incubator. Shout out to ESO. Yo, the homie is really legit. Like, I'm gonna let him tell you more about his background, but I was like, bro, the energy was just right. So I had to bring on my good brother Louis joining us on the stage. Yo.
hello, how you doing?
Yeah.
Oh man! First of all, that intro was litty and dope. I like that. That was a dope ass intro. So
Hey,
it's an honor and pleasure to be on this platform. I just want to say, Mama, we made it. You want to say we outside? Yeah, no, I really like the intro. It was dope. Yeah, both the intro you just gave and the intro like that we just saw. I love the last scene too, with you posing and showing the logo like that. Hey, that go crazy. Yeah, that go
So
crazy.
I was like being so smart. I was like, okay, guys, we got to do this. You know, when you were creative, you see it, you're like,
But
okay,
yeah, there was so many things. Even like you just with your chain, like you show it. Like I see the Habasha, I see the you know what I'm saying, the Bay Area this in it, the Yadanayi. So you know what I'm saying. I love the holisticness of it, of all of this stuff. And then even you just talking to the audience, you know what I'm saying. Thank you guys for supporting her, following her through the journey and path. You know what I'm saying. Whether that's coming on a platform or just being able to subscribe and like, but it definitely there's a beautiful family, and I love that you even allow them to call them your family name. So
right.
yes. And so I would even just like to follow suit. You know what I'm saying. I have my family name in there as well, Keyamo. You know what I'm saying. That's what my family call me. So nice to meet you. Is Rutha?
Yes.
Okay, yes, and then I'm Keyamo. So thank you so much.
Oh, I love that.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Yes. No, I swear, I was just like, I don't remember which class it was, but you got off the mic real early, okay? Like,
You said
yeah,
got off the mic or got onto the mic? Say it again.
yeah, it's like, because you know how when you go into like these Zoom classes or whatever, and everybody don't want to
Oh
talk.
yeah, oh yeah, off the mute for sure.
Yes. And like
Right.
I feel like they was trying to get feedback, and like people, you know, they just be slow and hesitant. And then I don't know what I was doing, but I was also like, you know what? I always come into a room and be the first one to talk. Let me let other people talk, you know? So I was like, let me just chill. And I think you came on the mic for something, and your just energy was like just lit. I was like, oh, that's what's up.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna have to get to know bruh. And then they said like you had some crazy degree, and I was just like, yo, you do what? Like I'm confused. So yeah, tell the people about you, because that was my impression of you. I don't even think we had this conversation before, but that was my impression.
Hey, well, we having it now.
Yes, and I was just like, yo, this is hella dope. So tell the people, who is Louis Keyamo?
So yeah, thank you for that. So I would just say, just starting off what you're saying with asking the questions, that I would say that I recently developed that in the later part of my life. Like going to college, I would say being surrounded, or going to a PWI and being surrounded by a lot of people of different ethnicities, and seeing how they let's say take up space. I learned quickly that I had to be able to do that as well, or there won't be let's say any food left for me on the table. So I learned how to be able to speak up from there. And I also had mentors or black and brown mentors that would let me know that when you walk into a space, make yourself known, act like this is your space, etc. And so I kind of carry that with me, and I'm going to take a note of your book. I'm going to learn how to be able to do that same take a space, but also leave that space open for other people to come. I know Zakia, shout out to Zakia, the ESO staff, but I know Zakia was doing really well at trying to let people know, who was speaking too much, or allowing other people to do that. So that's something I did. I would say I learned from ESO is you can take a step back sometimes, or shine your light on somebody else's as well. Just get into a little bit about me and my background. I said my name is Louis Keyamo Johnson. I have a background, or I have an undergraduate degree in mathematics and physics. And then after that, I did graduate school in astrophysics. So that's a little bit of my background. And currently I run a nonprofit organization called Unite, where we empower students to be doctors, lawyers, and engineers. I also worked on that pitch a lot of times with ESO. That they every day since the first day, I believe, had us work on our pitches. And that, like I said, that was a place I also got the honor to meet you as well. And along with other dope entrepreneurs who are also on the grind, which I thought was very dope. I remember one of the key moments of you in there, where it was you talking about manifestation and how you manifested ESO from this platform. So and then even look at this, how we're talking on it now, like it's so many but how you manifested ESO, and you saw an ad, like it wasn't even like somebody from there. It was also it's part of the algorithm, or part of the universe, brought it to you. Or they were listening to you and then brought it to you. However it was, you know what I'm saying?
I said, you would know better than me. You said astrophysics, bro.
So I gave you a hint at the end as they were listening to you. And yeah, I can talk about some things on there as well, but that probably for another time.
Okay.
But yeah, you just talking about manifesting that group. I forgot where I was going with that. Manifesting the group.
That was like a moment of you recognizing.
Yeah, seeing you, I would just say seeing you and your power. Because I definitely say one of the things I do notice when people speak is they kind of let a little inkling of their greatness, out through that. And when you talked about manifesting it, and not only manifesting, but also the things you wanted to do in alignment with ESO, that to me was very powerful in itself. That like, wow, you're not just here by let's say by chance. Like you have a purpose and a reason being here. And so that's something that I look to in let's say people and partners, because I'm also manifesting our partnership.
Right.
As this speaking of that, here goes another partnership I'm manifesting called Integrity. So just alignment of the work that I do. I also do workshops, and so I was invited to a mental health workshop, which I know you also touch on as well. And at that mental, I was a what is it called? A panelist speaker. And so there was a fellow panelist speaker. Her name is, she go by MJ. She has an organization called Integrity. But this is her clothing brand, Integrity. So she, be integral, be an integral person. But she also has a nonprofit as well called Uverse Project, which is which is supposed to be, symbolizing that, you're the only person in the way of your path to success.
Ooh,
I'm trying to I'm
trying
trying to manifest my Coach Keisha right now.
Hey, she be on here too, bro.
Hey, I can't wait. I can't wait. When you guys see Coach Keisha, whether that's before this or after this, it's gonna be a treat. Check out that video for sure.
Man, bro, she get right to it.
Yeah, she uplifts your spirits through. I mean, we haven't even met her in person, and she was actually in Africa as she was speaking. And
she was like, I'm manifesting you next, bro. Like, I'm trying to get to that. I was like, tell me how you got there, because I'm trying to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Big time. We don't get there. But just to finish off on this thing real quick, she has a organization where she has a bus, her nonprofit where she has a bus and she educate the youth. And so I'm looking to partner up with her this summer to be able to have have the bus as transportation to take the youth out from Oakland to other places outside where they probably have not been. So yeah, she wants to plug that in.
No, I love that, because like you touch on a lot of cool things, and we're definitely gonna like dig into it a little bit more. It always makes me really happy when I have somebody else from the Bay here, because it's like y'all really understand. Like I think sometimes people like meet me and they think I'm rare.
Well, don't forget that you are rare.
Okay, yeah, I know. Let me not discount myself. No, I think I am a rare soul for sure. There's a lot to unpack there. But what I mean in that is to say that there's so many people here that understand, like who grew up here and understand the need, right? Like I feel like I meet other entrepreneurs every time I run into somebody, because everybody got like some type of job, but everybody got to hustle. Like everybody got like something else that they're trying to accomplish, some community they're trying to like build up,
or like uplift,
right? Like there's like everybody is working here is what I'm trying to say. Like everybody is trying to solve problems. Like I would say that the Bay Area, like not progressive just in like politics, but like we're literally constantly incubating and trying new things and trying to fix, because there's so many problems to be fixed, right? So it's like I feel like I meet so many dope people, and like to me and to you, right? Like the way that we align is that we're like, okay, we got to do it together, because everybody is solving a different problem. And as long as we're all communicating and like working together, then we make a bigger impact, right? So like, and that's the same model as ESO, which is right, like we're creating ecosystems to like really uplift and support ourselves. Like we got this, like we've been able to do this, we've been innovative forever. So it's really about like seeing and like cultivating in our own communities that power, right? And like being like, yo, like you're needed, you're necessary, your contribution is like productive, right? Like we can do this. So that's really where we align. And before we go too deep into that rabbit hole, because this is what happens. Like you get with somebody, you start going right into the talk. Like, let's talk about it. Clock talk time. Let's build, right? And I feel like I get to do that a lot. And I am in such a privileged position that like I also do mental health, right? And I can have those conversations. And a lot of entrepreneurs and dream chasers come to me and they're attracted to that, because they know that once you start this journey, it's a struggle. It is a mental battle, like every day, right? Like you got to get mentally strong to do this, because there's just so many different things you got to learn and obstacles you're going to come up with or across. And so I want to take some time to just do a check-in with you, bruh, before we get in too far. So this is how y'all check in with your friends. Y'all take notes. Okay. Do this with your people. Like you got to do this. When we say check in on your people, oh, I love it. You really have to. I'm like, I got to have some things. Oh, matter of fact, let me talk about some self-care. I got my avo curl. Okay.
Put it in.
Hey, shout out to Jazz, right? Yeah. I'm about to do that hair mask after this. I got this bomb scented candle here. This is love and anti-anxiety. Y'all can't really see it that well, but this just smells so fire. So after this, because we talked about my day, I'm going to decompress. But for you right now, checking in with you, how would you say your heart is? So in one sentence or one word, you can talk about your day, your week, your season, whatever you're feeling. I just want to give some space to ask you that. How is your heart? One word or one sentence?
I would say healing and recovering.
Okay.
Yes.
Healing and recovering. Okay. Like, is this a season? Is this a today healing and recovery?
I would say it's a season, and for sure a season. Yeah, I would say a lot of things. Let's say a lot of things near and dear to me happen, or yeah, a transition. I would say in 2020, and I feel like I don't know. I've just been looking at the world, and I've seen. I feel like everything is coming up out of that. Oh, we're going to be in lockdown, or the world's going to go back, or etc. Everybody's getting out of that. Out of that phase, and so I'm noticing how, let's say, I believe in a concept called law of correspondence, which says as above, so below. So I'm learning things that's happening on the macrocosm of the world is also happening, let's say, in my internal world as well. And just also when you said heart, I was just thinking about love, family, things that are near and dear. And so I'm just knowing that right now I'm going in an up season. You know what I'm saying? I feel like ESO Ventures was a little bit of that, beating up, trying to make sure that we're ready for it.
Right. Are you ready for the next round? Like,
yeah, like this is just
get your weight up.
you know what I'm saying? And so now I feel like like I said, that was just another that as I was going through that process, also going through other processes within myself. Because as I feel like ESO made us look at ourselves a lot, right? And so, yeah, and so as I'm meeting people like yourself, like for example, there's a lot of things that I feel like I lost in 2020, and like I said, as I'm meeting people like yourself and other like I said, other people, business partners, I'm noticing energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? It cannot be lost, but it's just transitioning and just coming into me in a doper form. You know what I'm saying? And I just have to be willing to accept and be open to what's happening right in front of me now, rather than being like I woulda, coulda, shoulda, in the past. Whew, I just said that the first time to myself right now. So
you felt it. I was with you because I was like, I felt it too. Like, yep.
So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I gotta take a water for that. I'm gonna shout out Uproot Your Thoughts or Uprooted Network for that, because that's what brought it out.
That was so good. That was so good. And thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable enough to say, because I think we can all resonate. And I think a lot of people don't vocalize that, like I've been saying it I feel like I've been saying the same thing for 3 years, like, in different ways. Like, y'all, it's okay. The world is chaos right now. You don't have to have it. Like, just don't give up. Your dreams are necessary, right? Like, you gotta, like, I think at the beginning it was a shock of like, you have to now face reality. And I think for a long time, especially those of us in the West, like, we're so used to just going, being hella distracted, not really like ever sitting down and focusing, that I know that a lot of people like that, like going from running on a hamster wheel to like sitting down, like was such a like shock, and it's like a shock to your body. Like, it's a hard hit of trauma. And I feel like for me, it was a little bit easier of a transition because I'd already been doing my work and I'd already been like sitting still and like, slowing down my pace of life because I, was in Colorado and it's compared to the Bay. Listen, Denver just got up. Okay, let me just say that. Like, they just got to the finals. Let's just say that, right? Let me not get too into that because I'm gonna start talking shit. But like, I gotta chill. But no, like, needless to say, I talked about this actually today. I told the story about ESO and how I manifested y'all. And I literally was just like, yo, I understood when you said you're like kind of coming on up onto like an upward swing now. It's like I get you, right? And like what was it that I said to you before we started recording? Because you said it too. You were like, I said like for every reaction, there's what you said, an equal
Newton's second
opposite.
law. Yeah, equal and opposite reaction. Yeah,
Thank you. I just have to make you say it because you're the scientist.
it's
So
all good.
listen, but like what you said is also true, right? So like I feel like we took a slingshot that like threw us one way, and now if you're ready, that momentum's turning back around, and we're gonna have to skyrocket the other way. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta like there's so much that has to be healed and recovered, and we have history for a reason. Like go back and see like 30 years ago, what was it like? Because I that's what I learned. I said, whoa, we're fighting the same war. This is the same like I can count 3 generations, right? So for me to count 3 generations, God knows how many of my other ancestors could say that too.
Yeah.
So it's like, when do we change that, right? And so there has to be like, if you catch it, like, and I feel like a lot of people do. There's plenty. Okay, millionaires, billionaires are made in these most horrible times, and it's like we always miss the boat. And it's I think there's enough of us now that we're like, no, we're not missing the boat no more. We finna go, like okay.
We came here on a boat. We're leaving on the boat.
You know what I mean? Like going the other direction. Like, nah, bro, we taking all our shit with us. Like that's how I feel about it. Like, and it's like, I mean, I guess I came on a plane, but that's a different story.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, many different ways we got here. You all saying
different ways. So I was like, let me be accurate because I know somebody gonna come in the comments like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, hey, I'm not claiming that. I'm acknowledging it. But the point is, I would say that the alignment for me and you and in what you're talking about is to like there's a perseverance in that, right? In the survival, because you could, bro, with the degrees you have right now, like I expect you to be sitting in somebody's corner office, like, you know, doing like just crazy things that I don't understand, you know, and like your heart is so big because you're like, I don't want to get there and leave my people behind. Like, what would it be worth? You know what I'm saying? And that makes me hella emotional because like that's really what I have that like conversation with my parent. Like everybody's like, bro, the community just not gonna change. You just gotta leave them, like leave them be. And I'm like, no, because I literally was that kid that needed you to show up and y'all couldn't. And I can't blame you because you didn't have the resources that I have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you know what I'm saying? Like that makes me emotional. It's like my mom had me. She couldn't figure out all the things, but she still supports me. And like everyone doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that makes the difference. You know what I mean? Like that makes the biggest difference. And like I want to take this opportunity to kind of lead us into this conversation for you because obviously there's a story of how you got here because you didn't say it in your intro. I mean, it's clear that you're from the Bay. So like there are right? Like there are things that are in common for us that like statistically, like we shouldn't be where we're at right now.
At all.
At all. And so I need to know your story of like what was the thing that changed those odds for you, basically.
Yes. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. I mean, like I said, I love what you're saying. And thank you for that opportunity to communicate that because yeah, I'm definitely feeling what you're saying. I definitely think it's a perfect time to get into it. But also want to just acknowledge, thank you for your vulnerability and sharing that. And yeah, I'm so excited to work with you after this. So that's all I gotta say. We gonna change that. We gonna uproot and reroot.
Yeah, say thanks to the
everything.
people. Yeah,
Yes.
we got it.
And so yeah, so I'm born and raised Vallejo, California. Speaking of the generations, I'm like fourth generation. My great grandparents were moved to Vallejo on both my mother's and father's side.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's how many generations I've been out there. So I've also been seeing some or I came into this world observing patterns of my family. Like I said, born and raised in Vallejo, California. When I'm out in Vallejo, everybody always asks me which part. I'm from all over Vallejo. You know what I'm saying? I moved all over the place. I have family that's from the north side of Vallejo, which is called the Crest, and I have a family from the south. You know, east, west, all the above. And I just share that because growing up, I saw the division. The division started, in the house. Let's say in the house first, between my mother and my father. You know what I'm saying? It started between them. I saw the division between both sides of my family. I saw the divisions in let's say in the north side of Vallejo, the south side of Vallejo, whatever part of Vallejo you're in. I saw the division in school when I was going through my education system, and in the beginning in elementary school, everybody's together, but as start getting in middle school and high school, the academic, the people who are academically excelling were in one place, the people who wasn't academically excelling in another place. And then like once I got to high school, I started seeing that being separated into races, right? There were less people of color, or I wouldn't say people of color because we're from the Bay, so it's very diverse. So everybody people of color. But even if you're white, you're still of color.
Some type of melanin has
you know what I'm saying? Has crossed your family path. But so what I mean is, in less of the culture part. Well, yeah, let's say no, the culture part. So the culture, if there was people who adopted to the culture that was let's say the Bay culture, they were less excelling in terms of academics, and the people who were willing to shed that part of themselves were excelling much more. And the reason why I say that is because this is just what I've noticed as I get older. You know what I'm saying? Even going into, like I said, the school, I didn't name the schools I went through, but I went to growing up in Vallejo, I went through Highland Elementary School. I went to 3 different middle schools out in Vallejo, and then in high school I went to graduate from Bethel. But going into college, I went to a private college. So I went. It drastically changed. It went to PWIs, and I at those institutions such as University of Pacific, and also attended Princeton University as well. I saw that.
I just felt that for you, because I was like, man, you went from like small PWI to like the biggest PWI. Like you were a minority, and then you were like almost a spec. Like
yeah. And I would say so. Yeah, I would take some steps back before I go there, because that will add to the story. So let's just go back to Vallejo before I go back there. But I was just using those examples as people. I've seen people who shed their culture. But so going back to like just a statistical standpoint, like I said, I'm born and raised in Vallejo. My father didn't graduate high school. My mother just graduated high school and had me at 20 years old. But also my father, well, even though he didn't graduate high school, he did have an electrician. He had his electrician certification before he graduated. So he was, good with trade. Something that I would say my father did give me when I was growing up was he at a young age, he taught me how to play chess, and also talked to me how I'm talking to you right now. You know what I'm saying? He used a very deep voice, which is much deeper than mine, but also just talk to me how we're talking right now. It's not like he didn't Google Gaga or like try to tell me, just talk to me just as you're talking to me now. Let me know what it is. And so I feel like those 2 things teach me how to play chess, and speaking to me. And like I said, he's doing all this behind. He was in jail for the first 5 years of my life, and so that he was able to still leave a deep impression on me, even though he wasn't physically there all the time. And then my mother, I was born in July, so I'm a Cancer, so I'm very I would say emotionally aware, huh?
My bad, homie. I wasn't going.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Let me know. It's all good. But so I wasn't going to say that, but yes, sensitive.
Let me not do that, because it's for me. Like, no, we not do that. Like, listen.
No, I'm letting it be known. Like, hey, whoever say that is cap. I'm a Cancer. I'm a Cancer rising and a Cancer sun, a Cancer rising, and I got some more in my chart somewhere else.
Oh no.
So yeah, that shit ain't no cap. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my father had a deep voice, and he just raised it a tempo octave, and I'm like, oh, I feel all that, father. Like, don't do that. I feel your emotions. Don't do that, sir.
Oh no.
So I'm just saying, my mom created an environment along my grandmother and my aunties fostered an environment where I could, let's say, be emotionally expressive. And I don't know why I'm saying that, but yeah, I guess I'm saying that.
It's helpful. Also,
Yeah.
I might be hella slow, but like I think I heard you slow because you were like, my mom just like finished high school, and I was like, oh, that's what's up. Like, she went back, but no, you're saying she had just finished high school when she had you.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have to clarify that in my mind because I was like, wait, it registered hella slow. Okay. So
no problem. But what you were saying that for is going to come later on the story, and I'll let you know where she at now, because she's progressed much further.
Listen, say that. Say that. I was trying to like understand, and then so you're saying that they were able to, and that like I guess like because I was like, wow, that's commendable because not a lot of parents can create and foster like that emotional space, especially for young boys. Like that's not the story that we hear often. So I was trying to like piece that part together. So kudos to having that, because you do articulate very well. So I'll give you that.
I appreciate that. I would say that wasn't intentional on their part. It's just, I was raised by my mother, my aunties, and my grandmother, and they're they're all women, and I feel like you guys have that emotional, or women may have a more in tune with their emotional intelligence side. And so I was saying that's something I realized growing up, that's something that they were able to provide for me, because I felt very, I felt very unprotected when it came to being out in Vallejo because I was with women. But I'm now learning that there was a part that they did protect me at, and that was my my emotional structure. That if that was not protected, I would be out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying, trying to prove my manliness, with the weapon, and not being able to like understand that was a moment in time, and I need to focus on being able to like be a scientist or be what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm going long into it, so I'm gonna try to.
This is the conversation. There's not. Yeah. No, this is not an interview. I ain't got like a list of questions for you. Like I wanted to hear your story because I was like, yo, I think like people need to understand, because I think too there's a stereotype, right? Like if I saw you and didn't know this about you before, would I have made the assumption that you were a scientist? You know what I mean? And I think that like we have to break that mold of what a scientist looks like.
That's what I'm trying to know.
I was like, you can still be dripped out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. You can be smart. Like it's fine. It's really fine, because I think that goes back to even what you're saying of shedding like a part of yourself to like scale up. And it's like, I don't believe that you should have to. I'm like, why? Like I'm just as smart wearing my pajamas as if I'm wearing my clothes. Like that doesn't make no sense to me. So, like, I have never like understood this whole conforming to society. I tried it, I didn't like it. And I was like, I ain't finna do it. That's not a reality that I want to live in. And I just do that unapologetically now. It is what it is. But like I need people to understand that from like somebody else, because I'm like, well, it's not just me. Like it's not just me. There's
no.
Who are doing this, that I'm like, I'm telling you, bro, like there's plenty of people that are just living their best life. They're fly, they're smart, they're not changing. Like
big time.
I'm not finna code switch with you, bro. It's not happening. Like
better understand what I'm putting down right now.
Right now, okay. I'm just saying, so if they didn't pick it up, that ain't our problem. You know what I mean?
We just can't communicate on the same frequency, brother. We just different vibrations.
I'll catch you in the next one. Like
you on a different TV channel. You know what I'm saying? You watching something else.
That's it. Okay. I'm just saying that's how they're gonna be like, wow, shit, her bae really came out. It did, bro.
Hey, big time.
All the time. This is literally me. I like people. I'm like, this ain't if I'm not in a business meeting with you, I don't need to be like. I'm like
meeting with you,
right? We're not talking numbers. We're not, like this ain't that. So this is how I'm gonna show up. So, anyways, the point is, this is where we from. This is the energy that we grew up in. We like, and I know that that's the energy of women that you must have been around, right? Like, so it's just like I get it, and I'm like, wow, that's fantastic, because you don't get to hear everybody say, I went to Princeton and I studied astrophysics. Like what? Like that's just like that's too dope. Like, and I need people to just understand that it was a journey. You know, you didn't just magically get there. You were there. You know what I mean? So oh yeah. Oh
is up here. Shout out to brother Ajman.
yeah. Yeah. This is what it means to work and play. So
big time.
I'm gonna take us back to where we were because I'll be letting us go.
Oh, no, I'm already knowing, and I can tie it into what you were just talking about.
Pick me up.
Okay, yeah. No, just tying it back in where you were saying, as you were saying, like you're unapologetically you. I would say, that was my motivation from a youth. And I can say it's unapologetically me now, but like before, what it would start off was just like y'all say I'm this and I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all say this is statistics, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever that dot is, that's the outlier. That's what I'm trying to be.
Listen, same person. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying that was just like when it came to everything. I said with me, like with math and stuff like that, like my motivation with math came from just being in like 6th grade. And I remember hearing you saying being competitive. I was very competitive as well. There was a kid, I would say of lighter complexion, you know what I'm saying, our lighter skinned brothers and sisters. And he was I don't know, I think he was just saying like, you're not, I'm better than you in math, or I'm good at math, and or I can beat you at this. And I'm just like, oh, bet. Like, bet I'm going to go hard now all the way until I went hard all the way until like 8th grade, where I got like the highest score in the district on the math and stuff like that. And so like that. Yeah, I just had to say that. In 8th grade, no, that's so old.
Right, because like back in the day, that like the light skin, dark skin thing was really like.
No, when I'm saying light skin, I mean white. Just to clarify.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to be literally correct.
Yeah, I was like, be correct, because I was like that stuff used to be also very annoying. Like it used to be like and I would just be sitting here like, I'm in the middle. I'm gonna let y'all figure out y'all's beef, and I used to just be like,
that's still a thing.
It's still very much a thing, and I actually had a conversation about that this weekend, but that's a whole nother episode. So you got to 8th grade and was like top dog.
I would say when it got to 8th grade, I realized I was realizing that I was good in math and science. Also, what was happening at that time as well as my grandmother. Shout out to my grandma Ma. Send peace, love, and light to her. She transitioned over to the motherland. But yeah, no, I think it's great with this picture. This picture is like, that's me and her right there. You know what I'm saying? She leading me into.
I love
yes,
that.
yes. But what's called she created something in our family, started something in our family called Career Day. And like I said, I think that was big for everybody in our family. And so on that day, what it was, what she did for us on the first career day when I was in 8th grade was she made me and my like I'm the oldest grandson or grandchild out of all her grandchildren, and so I have like 12 cousins that we were all raised like brothers and sisters. And what she did was she made all of us like these CDs and discs, like burnt the DVDs back in the time. And she made us these things with like let's just say it's like a PowerPoint. She made like a PowerPoint presentation that like had images of like of what we wanted to do, of what she thought that we wanted to do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, she was manifesting for y'all. I like that.
Big time. Like she taught all of that stuff, manifestation, vision boards, made us watch The Secret, everything. Like she was, big on all that stuff.
You might have to join me on that segment too. Okay, come through.
Yeah, for sure. And so she had that for us, and what mine was, she was like either a doctor or a scientist. Like, or not a doctor, a lawyer or a scientist. And like the scientist was like low-key doctor stuff. So she got pictures on there, and like that, and she made us like go up there and like say what we wanted to do, and like let people know, like let our family know. Like we gave a presentation to our family. Yeah.
Yeah. Your grandma was cold-blooded, like, oh man, okay.
No, but it was more of a fun thing for us. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was all the way.
You gonna do public speaking? That's what's up.
Yeah, it was fun because like it's like we always like to perform in front of our family. We always like to do things for our family. So like that's how all my cousins were. So like all the way, like I was the oldest at 13, and then it went all the way down to I'm pretty sure like 3 years old or younger, to where they wasn't giving full speeches, but they were just saying hi, saying their name and like say I want to be a doctor or something like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I would say that fostered our family into like really, like you said, manifesting what we wanted to do, and that's something I stuck to from that time. I would say a little bit in high school. I kind of like going to my freshman and sophomore year. I would say that's like a very influential time in terms of like, let's say, maturing. And I would say that time I kind of like lost myself in trying to, let's say, be fit in with the crowd.
Right.
I remember, at that time I was definitely trying to be like claim a hood, claim a part of claim a part of the city, because at my school,
Said, don't we all?
Yeah, I try to claim a part of the city type thing, and because in high school is like everybody was separate in their own, let's say, I don't know, boroughs, and then when you get to high school, all that stuff came together. We only had like 2 or 3 high schools, and so like at least for me, from my perspective, was like for us to protect ourselves, we had to join, like choose a side,
basically.
And I will also say I was very afraid of everything at that point.
As we should be, like, as we should be, like, we're literally like, oh my God, I just have to like insert this here. Like my cousin and I were talking, and she joined the military after college, right?
Yeah.
And I remember asking her, like, how was boot camp? How was this? Da, da, da. And she was like, bro, you know what I realized doing that? Like growing up in Oakland, like for real in Oakland made me so prepared for this environment, because we were literally like, avoid this block, avoid this part, avoid da-da-da, like, right? Like, and you shouldn't have to do all that strategizing at that young of an age just to get to school, bro.
Just to walk.
That shit don't make no sense. Like, but you can't even get to the learning part because you're trying to make sure you could get there.
Yeah.
Like, it don't make sense. That's why my dad moved us out quick. He was like, yo, I didn't leave the hood. Like, I didn't leave, like, as a refugee, like, survive all this stuff. And this is where y'all trying to put us. And this is supposed to be the land of all the dreams and all that. He was like, nah, not my kid. He was he was like, hell no. Nah. He was like, he was not about to be with the people like, no, we all have to live here. He was like, nope, I'm not doing that. And he would like take us out, take us far. And then eventually we got to San Jose. But I have to say, like, as you should be, like, all of that is scary. And I'm like tired of people trying to make that seem normal. That was not normal, and it wasn't healthy.
Understood. I would definitely say it added let's say, like, as your cousin mentioned, it definitely added a different grit and grind. I would say a different cut to, like, say, the diamond that I was when I came up out of it. But yeah, so I was, like I said, I was definitely very afraid. But the one thing I learned quick that I was more afraid of was my mom and her whooping me. And so literally when she there was one day I just recently, so this is when the iPods came out. And I stole one of my well, he wasn't a friend, but one of my peers iPod touches. She really just had to like sit me down, or she ended up, so I'm never good at keeping secrets or anything like that. So I low-key told on myself with the whole situation. So I know I'm not cut out for that that
lifestyle.
Oh, for sure.
Damn.
But well, my mom just really the situation came down to where she sat me down and like really just like asked me a question, like she like, do you want to be like some of the men that I knew in my life, you know what I'm saying, and do I want to end up like that, which which can be cruel at times, but also like at that age when she said that to me, it really showed me that the decision that I'm making at that moment is going to lead to where I end up at. And so I had to really make a decision on like who I hang around with, all that stuff. Like I literally had to tell the people that, like I try to join the block, like, hey, my mom said I can't hang out with y'all. Like I got to be over here doing this. And luckily they respected it. Luckily it wasn't like, oh, you a sucker. Like they was like, all right, it's good. Like do your thing, brother.
Yeah.
So it was all love. So I'm just letting people know out there, like, don't be afraid to communicate to your your friends.
Yo, I literally did this episode today on Mondays. I swear to God, go check today. I don't know when this is gonna come out, but go back to whatever today's date is, May 29th. I talked about this today on Manifest Monday. So thank you for affirming what I said.
What you talk about? What was the topic specifically?
I literally was like, yo, new seasons, new boundaries. Like if you're trying to like make a new reality for yourself, or you trying to walk into what you're manifesting, like you can't do the old stuff. You're gonna have to tell some people that, hey, this is my new season. I can't hang like we used to hang. Like that don't work for me no more. And your mama made that decision for you, but it needed to be done. You know what I mean?
For sure. It definitely was needed to be done. I would say, yeah, she made it for me on the like, yeah, between me and her agreement. But I had to go face those people every day, you know what I'm saying? And like, even today, like I still have a relation with them, and I talk to them now, and they they definitely are, I would say, proud of me for taking that decision, making that path. And for me, I just really want to this is kind of part of the reason why I want to come back into my city and get back to them, because what I started to realize is there's people in my city that I would say I would say metaphorically took the bullet, or metaphorically took a path in order for, I don't want to say in order for others to succeed, but like I would say where I'm at, everybody can't be here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody couldn't be in this position. And like I said, the friends that I had, like I said, when I was in class studying, they were out fighting and stuff like that. And some of those fights I could have been involved in. Some of those fights, you know what I'm saying? I'm as I'm getting older, I'm learning the roles that are my community, you know what I'm saying, my community plays in order for me to, let's say, be on this platform with you right now. You know what I'm saying? To be in this office space with my brother in here, to be able to say this thing. Like I have a brother who literally same household, same situation, but he has, he's a father right now. He's raising children right now. Yeah. And so I'm seeing the sacrifices that I don't even want to call them sacrifice, but I see the choices, or the routes that other people are playing, and how we all can benefit from each other. Like my brother is helping me learn how to be a father and teaching me those ways. I say the people who I was joining the community with, they showed me they was doing music at a very young age, and they was doing this up before YouTube and all the streams, but they had that same model, you know what I'm saying, that same hustle mentality. And I'll even say the bullies that that really picked on me and stuff like that, to me, those are my closest homies, because now when I went to college, I had such a tougher skin to like what they were saying, because I'm like, y'all saying some surface level shit that when these people talking about moms, family members, they go there on life decisions, like they ain't holding nothing back, and y'all just talking about, you're black, you shouldn't be here. Like, okay, but I am. So like, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You trying to see me? Like, what's good?
Like, what's up? Yeah. Oh man, no, wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Hanna, just interrupting you for just a little moment to remind you, if you have not, go check out the website, uprootednetwork.com. Whether you're new here or you've been following for a long time, you know that this is a space for those of us who have been having to navigate life very completely differently than the cultures we might be a part of. So whether that means you're an immigrant, maybe you're the first generation to change the narrative, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're a dream chaser in some type of way, and you're believing for a better life. So obviously Uprooted Network resonated with you, and we have been scaling out services, trying to build this into a bigger community for you all. And also, I'm launching all types of management consulting services and personal and professional group coaching this summer. I really have a big heart for those of you who are students, those of you who maybe haven't had an opportunity to get this type of development before. I'm going to be offering it at a very reasonable price, because you know what? I want to knock down those obstacles and barriers. I try to do it the way that everybody else does, and it wasn't working. So we're going to do it the Uprooted way. I want y'all to make sure, go check out the website, uprootednetwork.com. And now you can go back to your episode.
That really is it. Like, that's really what I talked about. And I think that like aligned for me in so many ways, because And it makes me very emotional to think about, just like, no, like our community like insulated us from so many things. Like it really did. And that's what I kind of said too, like they did the best they could with what they had,
That part.
you know? And had I been them, I'm like, could I have done what they did?
Like I said, hey, I asked myself that question. I could tell the truth. Hell no, man. I
Hey,
don't care anything my father or my mother been through. I remember I was like, I'll be complaining about my life now. Y'all have to deal with my life and struggle on top.
right.
Y'all go. Y'all got it. Cause I'm still trying to figure my shit out.
Every day. And I'll be like, I love you, mom. I'll be telling her all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
you does too.
thank you. Thank you. Like I literally got home today and I feel like that's why I said I got to decompress, because I haven't been able to like cry everything out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a crier. I cry everything out.
That's beautiful.
And it's been a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if y'all can hear it. She's in the background too. But I literally be like, thank you. Like literally, just like I stop in the middle of my day, like, oh, thank you, God. Like, because it's just so like it's such a blessing, and I'm very hyper aware of what a blessing she is in my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And even the like activity we were doing today, like we were with another homie, and I was like talking to him on the side that she works with, or like, you know, has a friendship with, and he was just like, man, your mom is just something special. Like she's just so loving and caring and all, you know, like just saying all these things about like how she like shows up in his life.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I know, bro. I was just like, I know, bro. I really love this woman, even when she gets on my nerves. I was like, yeah. I really love this woman, because I don't even understand it even today, how they're standing, you know, like still raising children, you know what I mean? Still taking care of all of us and, you know, all the things. But it makes so much more sense to like why you started your organization Unite. And I want to like spend the next couple minutes here before we start to like, you know, kind of close out, because that to me was just like, the reason why I always like to talk about the story is because it makes so much more sense why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like it makes so much more sense to me. And I remember learning this like very early on in my leadership journey when I was in undergrad. Like Simon Sinek was talking about, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And he was like explaining it with the Apple model. And I was just like, yeah. And I feel like, oh, you just gave me language, because I've always wanted to know people's story. Like, I've always wanted to know, like, how'd you get there? Because I was trying to figure out how to be that outlier that you was talking about. I was like, how'd you get to the outside of this statistic? Because I don't want to be this either. So I would always try to like, to me, I was like, I would read books. I would try to learn people, you know, all the things. So I was like, nah, I'm going to figure out how to do this. Like, come hell or high water, I'll figure it out. And once I figure it out, I'm going to tell y'all. Like, you feel me? I'm going to give y'all the game. And that's really been my thing. So with you and your nonprofit, like you're doing amazing, dope things, really trying to turn around and give this back to the kids. And I love it. And I want to support in all the ways. And I want people to understand, like, you know, what is it that you're accomplishing and building right now, you know?
Yes. So yeah, thank you. Like I said, thank you again. So just talking about the organization, I'm gonna just start with some backstory first and then go forward. And so as I was sharing with my story, like I said, a lot of my community gave to me, and I didn't really like when I ended up leaving for college to my from my community, I had a lot of what is the word? Resentment towards my community. I would say I wanted to leave my city, Vallejo, like, because I just, I had a lot of negative connotations about it. I had a lot of negative connotation about the people of Vallejo. I would say I have so much resentment towards the city, it turned into self-hate for myself. And I say I think that was part of my journey. That's part of my mental health journey for sure as well. Because I realized having all that stuff led to anxiety, it led to a lot of other depression, led to a lot of other things that I couldn't figure out, because I resented my city so much. That's what I was trying to shed my Vallejo-ness, my Bay Area, whatever that is, like where I because when I was in college at UOP, the way I was speaking wasn't proper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I remember a thing that happened was somebody was saying like you don't have a very good grammar, and I was like, yeah, my grammar be bad. And even that statement itself was
wrong. Yeah,
well, I was like that's how we talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you
is
mean?
like, I know. Sometimes I have to like. Oh my god. Anyways, we'll talk about that off camera. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so I'm just saying. So I had to. So as I was, let's say, shedding that away, I was also learning to love. Like I was learning about all the things I learned from my city, and the things that literally separated me from my peers. Like the reason why I was able to go to these classes and like, let's say, go out and like hang out with everybody at nighttime, but still wake up and go to class and do all the work and still make sure I'm being on top of the class while still, doing everything, like doing like multitasking. So I learned that I got a lot of grit. I learned that I learned how to network from my city because everybody, if you ain't talking, you ain't getting nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
mouthpiece. You better do that.
You have to have the mouthpiece for sure. Like I learned, the game, like people use the game to, can talk to women, but you use that same game in the school system and get your grades raised and stuff like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Get your tuition knocked off or, you know what I'm saying? Depending on who you talking to.
Finesse,
and so,
bro, you gotta finesse, okay?
So there's a lot of things that like I said, again, there's a lot of things I'll say I learned from my community and the community gave to me and allowed me to use that fuel to become a rocket ship and leave off. Yeah. And so, and that's what actually happened. Like I studied astrophysics. I studied literally like the end of the universe. Like I was in somebody's corner office, you know what I'm saying? Like studying in there, just being a computer. But like the time I was in there, there's stuff happening in my city. You know what I'm saying? People dying in my city. I'm seeing it on the news. I'm hearing it on Facebook. I'm seeing it on Facebook. I'm hearing all this stuff happening. And like I said, I'm over here at places like Harvard, MIT. I'm in Italy. I'm eating things I can't pronounce. I'm seeing things that, what I'm saying, never seen. And I'm just like, I can keep doing this and literally just looking at my feed and scrolling through like all this like death and murder and stuff like that. And literally being in places where they're talking about how to solve, like I was in conversation where they're talking about how to solve these problems, but they weren't doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Like they had all the solutions, had all the answers, They like, for example, Princeton has a $32 billion endowment, but they still have poor people right not even in the school, like on the school campus.
Talk about it. Talk about it, because they're not going to advertise that part.
I'm just saying, like, another thing they don't advertise. They got 2 slave houses on the front lawn, right when you walk in there, and you can't even walk through those doors until you graduate. Type shit. I said they shit fucked up. I said that was the first thing I noticed when I got there. I'm like,
my body just was like,
bro, I'm caught out, bro. And when I was there at the school, they published a document. The history department found out that these 2 houses on the front lawn are slave homes. I'm like, how your own department discovers some shit that's on your, excuse my language, but how your own department just discovers some stuff that's on y'all thing, like, what the like, and then it's a whole lot of things with that. I'm gonna just say to anybody as well, be careful for get out situations in Ivy League institutions. That's to all my people of color, because they are trying to take black bodies. It's in all the literature. But yeah, going back to it.
That's why we have Unite, because I'm not gonna be part of the system.
So you got it right there. So like I said, I learned a lot about these institutions while being at them. Like my organization Unite is based off of an institution that I was part of at Harvard University called the Banneker Institute, which to me it was what it was a black and brown. It was an astronomy research summer program for black and brown youth from all over the nation. But we were already in college and stuff like that. So, but they, a lot of us were we were at the top of our class or the top in our field type situation, and we all came and we all were brought together at Harvard, where we worked together. We talked about social justice topics, and we did science together. But like what I was seeing was that this was because also it's called Banneker Institute, which is named after Benjamin Banneker, who his family comes from the Dogon tribe, which is a tribe from Africa who's located in Malawi, I believe, or Mali.
Any better than you? I'm not gonna get that right.
Mali. And the Dogon people are the descendants of Egyptians. Long story short, the Dogon they discovered some dope ass shit in astronomy that today they still like. How the hell they discovered this stuff? This dude Benjamin Banneker is a descendant from them. He also is the person who designed the structure of Washington D.C. So
Is
the
that
whole
why it's so confusing?
hey, it's confusing to us, but to him it was math and science. You know what I'm saying? And engineering and astronomy. And so
okay, off this, you're gonna have to explain it to me because that city gets on my nerves, bro.
hey, it's for a purpose. It's for a purpose and a reason. But I'll bust it down for sure. Yeah, I said we can have some more conversation about that.
Because
But
that's
then,
to me. But okay, continue.
yeah, he designed the structure of it. And like I said, that structure of it comes from, well, from my understanding, it's an ancient structure. You know what I'm saying? That he was able to project onto American land.
Okay.
And so, long story short, I'm just saying this organization is in its name is rooted into, like, to me, revolution, Black excellence, resistance, and coming together. And so at this time when I was there, I was also on a part of my journey where I was in a revolutionary mode. I was in like the Malcolm X, get your guns and let's kill everybody type situation mindset. And so I'm not like that now, FYI. Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. But what I did see though was that we had a lot of brilliant minds in the same space, and I was like, look, we're all on a path to be PhDs in astronomy. We'll all be that in, let's say, 10 years from the time. Let's say 5 to 10 years where I was at. It was like 2016. I was like, we all about to make 6 figures. Let's just say low money, 6 figures. We all make $100,000. We already know that we're all going to make this. We all put this money together. We already know the endowment of Harvard and everything like that. We can do that right here in this group. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was talking to my peers about that. Like, hey, we should just come together. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we're all like, we have this prime opportunity because there's never been a program like this in our field before, where all the Black people are like literally meeting each other and find out that we're all Black. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people didn't even have the language to know that they were Black and to know what that meant in this world. So I would say, So I would say it was a very powerful program. But I would say long story short, that's where I got the vision of being able to come up with an institution together. And I said the name Banneker Institute, even though it wasn't its own institution, I saw it as an institution within an institution. And so I was like, wow, this is a brilliant idea. I think I want to create something that we all, like, let's say your network and everybody there, we all have our own thing where we're all talking and we talk how we talk, we be how we be, and we can excel how we excel, i.e. Wakanda. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Bro, I've been trying to say you can build Wakanda. Like, that's not an imaginary fairy tale, bro.
That's easy.
It's very doable.
It's very easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like I said, you know about Nesby and shit stuff like that.
Yes.
We have 5,000 engineers at any moment in time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. And there's hella more in Africa. Like
that part.
Like hella more. Bro, when I tell you they're smarter than us, bro, like in elementary school, they're learning shit that we're learning in college. Okay.
I'm already I was there talking. I was in Liberia, Africa, I'm a scientist. I'm trying to tell them about pyramids and stuff like that, and how, like, what a pyramid is. And they listen to me, but they also build in a mosque with their bare hands out the ground. Then they're listening to me, but it's like, so what would you talk about? I'm building a mosque right now. Like, you trying to tell me about a pyramid? Like, bro, I'm building a pyramid right now while you talking to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, you hella late, bro. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
We've been on this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so then that brings you to, like, modern day. You took that idea and then you were like, I'm gonna do this program for the kids in my hood. And like where I can.
It has some I'll say some derivatives. It first started off because when I first started, I was around 20, I was 24, much younger. And so it was more folk. I was like, at the time I was starting, I was a youth. You know what I'm saying? I was part of that group. So it was more of highlighting the skills that we have. And so I threw an event called at first it was called Vallejo Got Talent. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do like a Vallejo talent show. At this time, this was like La Russell was getting ready. It was bubbling in our city and stuff like that. Shout out Good Company. And then also there's other artists that were popping off as well. That I wanted to just highlight the talent of like the of I would say Vallejo specifically, and the people in my graduating class of 2012. There's like a lot of us who graduated in 2012 and we're all doing dope things. And so I did a community event where I had about 200 people there. I said Russell performed there. There was another artist from out of Oakland named Lovemore who performed. We had some poets there. And like I said, this is all free event. We had vendors there, people who do massage, people who did food. They brought like cookies with like the organization stuff on it. It was like a big old pot of everybody just, of let's say gumbo, of everybody coming together, bringing their talents together. And like we did like a speed networking event there. I said we had open mic to where there was other artists who like there was people who other artists were able to connect with other artists. And so from that event, like that was the initial thing. That was initial, like I called out to like 10 of my peers who graduated my class to help me organize it. We all came together and we were able to put on that event. And then from there, like the city, like even the city, so the cities like started an initiative called like, so we were called Unite Vallejo at the time. And they started an initiative called like Vallejo Unites. Okay. And we like, that's dope. But we hear y'all talking about money and we ain't hearing no money come our way. You know what I'm saying? So like the city try to like take the initiative. We had a meeting with them, trying to come up with some ideas. And we at that point I found out that the city and the community were two different entities. Like the city of Vallejo is people who get paid by the state and our peers and stuff like that. But the community of Vallejo are the people that live in Vallejo who may not have any ties to the city of like the candidates or anything like that. And a lot of the people who are the city of Vallejo actually don't live in Vallejo. They just work in Vallejo.
That part.
Yeah, and that was very interesting.
That's the scam of the Bay, bro. Oh my God. Okay.
That was very interesting.
I'm not gonna go in the rabbit hole, but that to me, that is literally the scam of the Bay. And that's also why all of us have our own businesses and throw our own.
Because they ain't about to do nothing for us. Like they be having, when at the time we sat down with them, they were like, we have $10 million, but we don't know what to do with it. Thank
you, bro. Every time they just be like they be throwing the most boosty events ever. Like just like, so you know what, let me not say all that, but I'm just saying like it don't take that much to put us together. It's not rocket science. You feel me? Like you didn't need to go get your degree.
I know what that is.
Right. Like I was like, you didn't need to go get your degree to figure out this part. You were like, bruh, I gotta come back and do this because none of y'all finna do it. Like, come on. It's wild.
Yeah. And so I definitely have to come back and bring it to the city. As I went through, let's say places, business like ESO, at first what we're trying to do was everything. We're trying to do community events. We're trying to do, make music, make podcasts, make videos, do everything. And since my team got smaller since that time, I've now just try to focus on one aspect. And right now, since I'm the executive director of the organization, the skill set that I have that I feel like is very valuable and something that I've been doing, like I had to look back in my life. I've been doing this since like elementary school, is being able to tutor and provide education. Which I also would say that was the keys for my freedom was education. And also I feel like, with some of my peers, if they would have pursued that path, let's say some of my peers who are very athletically gifted. I have a lot of friends who are D1 athletes, in high school, but didn't have the academic side to back it up, therefore they didn't make it. So I would like to be able to be a mentor, and be able to provide a place where they can be able to get the skill sets of becoming a doctor, lawyer, and engineer, but they necessarily don't have to become one, right? They just can just get trained by people and just be like, hey, I know doctor, lawyers, and engineers, and if I need it, you know what I'm saying? If you need that route, you can go that route. But if you dope in music, you dope in, athletics, like definitely go there. And I'm just saying this could be a great backup. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, because every immigrant child has heard you better go be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. And I'll be like, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I thought I was gifted in math, and I was always like a year or two ahead. But I moved a lot. So then they would keep putting me back in different things and I just lost interest. But I got to like trig pre-calc And I was like, you know what? I don't actually think I'm gonna pursue this in life, but I understand it. Like, you know, like I was like, I'm good. I can read these contracts. I can understand equations. I understand word problems. For me, it was really like understanding analytical thinking and like logic. Like that's what like the math and sciences taught me. And because people be like, man, you're really good at like connecting things and da da da. And I'm like, that's because I know 2 + 2 = 4. You feel me? Like, if you can get to that and then you could understand like this equals this, you know, you're like, oh, that's how people's brain works. Like, what formula are you using? Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna adapt to your formula. If you can understand an algorithm on your phone, then you can understand like STEM. You know? Thank you. I got away with words. You feel me?
Yeah, that's bars right there.
Like for sure. So then I'm just like, yo, you're like my twin like flame or something. You gotta be, because we had this conversation. Like we were just like, okay, we got to talk about what we doing, because we knew there was alignment. Like we knew there was alignment. And then we were talking, and I was like, I'm gonna say this, and then you were like, oh yeah, so you trying to do this and this with it? I'm like, yep. And he was like, yeah, that's 2. I was like, that's crazy. And then you brought up something, and I was like, what you trying to do with that? You trying to? And I was like, yep.
Yeah. I'm like, you say no more. Say no more.
I was like, that's bomb. And so we're both putting coaching programs together, of course, because that's our thing. We're teachers, right? So like, we know how to do something very well. We're gonna teach you how to do it. That's where I gotta start. I can't take you somewhere I haven't been. You know what I mean? So you're doing something hella dope this summer, and you have, and I kept saying STEM. You have Unite STEAM Institute, because you added the A for art. And I was like, you a real one. You a real one. Because everybody try to leave us out. Like us artists too. Like, come on, bro. So talk about that, and just let the people know what that's about.
Yes. So just to before, on that, the reason, so also on my path of studying math and science, what I did figure out was that I figured out that music was the highest form of science. And I believe that art is the highest form of, math and science as an expression, because it adds, creativity, logic, all that stuff together. And so, that's why I added the art in there. Just to go over, I said it's Unite STEAM Institute. What STEAM stands for is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Another thing for those who don't know, Unite is also an acronym. And what it stands for is Unique Natives Interacting Together, Elevating.
Ooh, I love a good acronym.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We love acronyms as well. As you see, Unite is an acronym and STEAM is an acronym. Like I said, I'm promoting STEAM over STEM because, like I said, I feel like there's a lot of programs that's promoting STEM, that's doing STEM programs, but I don't feel like it's for our people, the Black and brown youth. And so, like I said, the reason why I add art, like I said, if I go back to my city, and a lot of the people that I look up to, or the smart people, they were musicians. They were people on the like streets who are now artists. You know what I'm saying? In whatever form that may be. And it was not fully accepted in, let's say, this modern day society where we have iPhones, FaceTime, and all the stuff like that. But there's a lot of great ideas that they have that I feel like can improve, let's say, all this stuff that we have. And for me, I put them together. Like I said, a person who I went to school with, and a great example who I also look up as a scientist is, like I said, Russell. We graduated same year, I'm saying, to 2 different paths, but I also see him as a scientist, how he uses words and communicates these messages to people and provide visuals. I'm saying, that can go into one person's mind. And so what I'm looking to do is be able to utilize, let's say, the art method. As you guys saw, my business partner back there, Ajman, who's also I always call him a fellow scientist, but also artist as well. You see some of his science tools in the background. Shout out to the mans. But also, I partner up with him to be able to help. Like I want to be able to teach the educational side of the scientific theory part, but be able to work with him to be able to show the kids how to apply it. Right? Like there's also another group out of Oakland called Hip Learning, where they create a whole album on biology, and it slaps and it teaches you. So it's what I'm saying. So
you have to send me that, because I'm like, so curious.
I'll show you. Like I said, I'll show you. And Ajman is some of the person who also helps with some of the music out there as well.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm getting all false information, but let me know, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. So you put this program together that's running this summer in Oakland. That's the goal.
Yes, yes.
June 26th to August 18th, and people can sign up at your website. Is that what it is?
Sign up at the website. Yep, it's serving ages 7 to 17. There's anybody that falls out of the age range, still apply. Because we're also looking at internships, volunteers. There's other positions available as well. And then also another thing as well is we're doing a fundraiser event on June 15th to be able to raise funds for the summer to help with transportation, help pay for the office space, and also help be able to provide students with like laptops and some accredit like some certifications from like get like wood shop and laser cutting skills as well.
That's what's up. I love that. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, like I'm for sure gonna try to make that. I'm because when you say that and then you be like cat, and I'm not a cat, bro.
No, that's all good. I said
I'm looking at my calendar right now. Let me book that in my calendar before I forget. Hey, what time is that at for the people, aka me?
On June 15th.
Yeah.
You could it'd be anywhere between 5 to 7, or I believe 5 to 7 or 4 to 7, I believe.
Okay, I'm about to just
say 4 to 7.
I'm gonna mark it on the calendar so I don't plan nothing on that day. I'm gonna just leave a window. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta make sure I'm about to be up there anyways. I'm gonna be in the office like, what y'all doing?
All right.
But I gotta make sure that I pull up on my people, because I live and die by this calendar. Let me tell you.
Might as well calendar. Oh yeah, you got to, especially nowadays, especially as an entrepreneur.
Listen, I be tired. I be like, wait a minute, what I got going on? If I don't put it on, I will forget. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. So sorry. But no, I'm here for it. And the reason why that I wanted to like come or not come, have you come on and really talk about this is because there's like, I remember growing up, there was like and not just like people that you wouldn't think would have this story, right? Like we would like have icebreakers or different things in class, and you would say like, oh, how many people have traveled to because I was living in San Jose at the time, so they'd be like, how many people have gone to San Francisco? And there would be so many kids that haven't even taken the 45-minute drive to go to San Francisco and to see the bridge, like literally haven't left their neighborhood. You know what I mean? You haven't left your city. Like, so literally your reality is just this. And then the internet makes that worse because your reality is so small in your mind, but then you're looking at your phone and there's like all these other people living fantastic lives, or so you think. And it's like, bruh, you couldn't even get 45 minutes down the road. Right. So it's like I understand for me, and that's why I wanted to kind of paint the picture for the audience and have you really like pull that story out, was because like, yo, this is really a reality for us. Like there's really like kids like us that we've experienced that like didn't get to leave, didn't see nothing different. And like even just that small moment of taking them out of one place and put like exposing them to something will at least let them know like, yo, this is achievable, bro. It's really not that far off. Like that, it's not. Don't believe what they told you. It's actually attainable. You can do it. I know 100 people that I could point to you and be like, yeah, that person and this person, like you can do it, right? And it's like it warms my heart that that's what you're doing, that you're putting on. And I can't do that part, like at least the STEM part, the art, I got you, like right, like the rest of it, I could like dibble dabble, elementary level, but really it's just like it warms my heart that there's people who can actually teach this, that actually look like us, that the kids can actually relate to. And the biggest thing for them is like, what this got to do with me? And it's like, you can actually tell them what this has to do with them, right? Like, so I want to make sure that I say that. And so in closing, just because I want to, be mindful of time, and just, yo, you shared so much. So I just want to say thank you for that, because that was so dope. I was like, wow, I really like, I just love this. I love this. I'm telling you, I manifested this shit. So I'm just like,
Yes, you did.
like, it makes my like heart so happy. I'm gonna ask you these last two questions. So, what are you trying to reroot yourself? Because we talked about a lot of things that you had to like uproot from your life and thoughts, and coming back to like, you know, what is like center and home for you. So I want to ask you that. What do you want to reroot yourself in? And then the last part of that is, what seeds are you planting for yourself, and which ones are you leaving behind for other people? I kind of know the answer because you're talking about your organization, but you know, I still gotta ask. So yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate your questions. They're very thought-provoking, I would say. And I would say the thing I want to reroot myself in, and I thought about that. I've been thinking about that, I would say, the whole interview. And that's community and family. I would say I shared a part of my story how I went through a journey of like, let's say, resenting my city, and that, you know, that included thoughts of my family and stuff like that as well, and the thoughts of my community. And so I feel like I kind of like exile myself from my community, or try to separate myself from there. And with the work that I'm doing, I feel like I need to be fully immersed into that. And I feel like I am now, but I would like to continue to deepen my roots. Let's say, continue to reroot myself in there. And I like, especially like now, I feel like I moved into a new community out here in Oakland. Since I've been moved into this downtown Oakland space, and trying to reroot myself out here. I want to definitely get rooted into the community and the people, and family. Yeah, that's for that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. The seeds I'm looking to plant.
Yeah.
It'll have to be in terms of value, like morals and values, and it's really right now for myself a discipline.
Okay.
Listen, to definitely plant those discipline seeds and those accountability seeds, and consistency seeds.
Ooh,
Yeah, those seeds I'm trying to plant. And I don't know if you asked that, but along with that, I would say giving myself grace with that process. As we talked about patterns and stuff like that, I see that that's like there's things that I resent to my family for, my community for, and I'm seeing those patterns show up in myself. And so I'm also seeing that that's like, that adds a little style, let's say, you know what I'm saying? That adds a little, pizzazz. Like that's like, I sometimes I try to avoid being the person I don't like, but I end up knowing that person I don't like is actually, the person I'm looking at. And it's just like, so I just got to be that.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, with that being said, I guess I'll leave that would be the seed I will leave. And I would just also, shout out a lot of the people that influenced me in my past, or, on my path here. And one of the things that somebody who influenced me, shout out to my boy Rais, was he said that, the things that you don't like in other people is, things you don't like within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or things that might, you need to change within yourself. And, once you do that, you won't be able to, it won't irritate you as much. And so as I'm planting seeds of discipline and stuff like that, or my weaknesses, I would say, I want to plant the seeds for other people to like look at those weaknesses that you have. And even though they may be weaknesses to yourself, it still can be strengthened to be used as a skill out in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so for all those people, like I said, all my friends, like I said, if I can talk to their younger version of themselves or the younger version of myself, I would say, look at those things in which you may not be the strongest at, and focus on that, and use those as tools to help you change your current situation.
Yeah. No, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And thank you for sharing that. I like that you brought up the grace first and foremost, because that was the second part of the check-in that I forgot. And I'm glad you said it, because that question would have been, what are you giving yourself grace for? So the fact that you're bringing into that, like, that's a forever thing that you're trying to do, is like full circle for me, like in the whole conversation. And I was trying not to be a big crybaby, because I'll be crying on the show. I really
Hey, let's get it. I already told you I was a Cancer from the get-go, so I was like, it's okay. It's okay.
I'll be all in the.
It's
But
beautiful. That you be touching the souls.
woo! I done have some ugly viola level cries on on here, bro. It's crazy, but I try not to do that with the guests because I don't like to make other people feel like they
It's all
gotta go
good.
there. But I do get emotional a lot of the times, and I think it's just like because your story is my story, you know, and more specifically than I think other people have been, right? Like I feel like a lot of our journeys are very similar, but like literally like your answers, your logic, like everything that you explain, I was like, yo, is this me talking or him? This wild. Like
We are
besides
one.
yeah, like besides the family things and like specific examples that you're talking about, like I can still relate to that. And like I still as a result like went on the same path as you. You know what I mean? And like that the part of so I want to say thank you for like also like articulating something that I have maybe haven't like vocalized and said to enough people or admitted out loud that like there was a big part of me too that resented my community for a long time, and I was like very like harsh in my criticism, and like I went through that season and had to be softened, had to be humbled quite a bit, and also like there was a level of guilt that I had, that was also driving me, but like that was fueling my anxiety and my depression too, and like the things that you're talking about. So I had to be like, wait, I'm gonna do this work, but I gotta fix my heart posture. Like and that's something that I kept preaching to people, and maybe they didn't understand like the backstory of why I say that. And it's like you gotta fix that because if you don't, you're gonna continue to re-traumatize your people because now you sound like the people that were oppressing them.
Yeah, that part.
So I had to check myself and look in the mirror. And what your friend said is what I say all the time too. That's projection. That is literally textbook projection. Like people do it all day long. We do it in our relationships all day long. It's not intentional. It's like a subconscious thing. So if you don't bring it into your awareness, if you like somebody gave you that game early enough that you can be aware, like that's how you get self-aware, right? You're like, oh shoot. Like once I learned that, it's hella hard. Like every time I criticize somebody, I'm like, ooh, like that me?
Yeah,
like, ooh, I don't like that. Like, right, like you just like, oh, nah, I can't be that person, right? So like I just want to say thank you for that and for sharing that. And I just want to affirm too, like this was such a blessing for me. Like this conversation blessed me in a lot of ways. It definitely helped me shine a light on some areas I need to like think about or haven't articulated in a long time, and that's why I do this. That's why I love this space. That's why I love bringing people like you on, and I think that's the power of us, right? Like telling our stories and actually talking to each other, because we're not an anomaly. There's so many of us that are also of like-minded people, like that we're not going to be the statistic. We're not going to be that, like, and we're going to make sure like that we don't just let everybody around us be that too, And I just want to say I really appreciate that about you, and I want to affirm that in you, and like what I want to manifest. I know this is going to be a successful program this summer. You feel me? Like I'm already knowing. Again, y'all go to the unitevirtualnetwork.com. Make sure that y'all are signing up, because I really I just know that this is going to be so successful. I know that like the people that you're going to like be teaching, like those children are going to be impacted more than you ever know, right? Like that's the hard part too, is like you don't know for sure, right? But it's like I can tell you that those children will be forever impacted because you have like the right heart. And so even if you don't do everything perfect, they're going to see that you care. And like I think that's enough. And I think that's really it. That's really the answer. To know somebody cares about you, like can make the biggest difference. It'll make the difference between you picking up that gun or you picking up a book. You know what I mean? And so like I get emotional because I like when you shared that in your stories, like me too. I got tired of seeing kids overdose. I got tired of kids, committing suicide. Like why? Right? Like why? You're too young, bro. You ain't even seen life yet. And so it's like to me is just like, yo, oh, I can be the difference. I'm the person that they needed. Like their parents can't do this, but I can do this. And so I want to affirm for you that like more than you'll ever probably know or anybody will ever tell you, you've already done that. You've already saved lives that you don't know that you've saved. And maybe one day, you know, you'll get the blessing of hearing those stories, but just remember that like this path is hard. You know, this path is hard. I know this path is hard. That's why we could cry. That's why we could be emotional. Why we freaking run ragged trying to figure out answers and like over here trying to save everybody, right? And it's like I just want to affirm for you that like you're doing it, and even when it doesn't look like you're doing it, you are. And yeah, I'm just happy to have met you and to know that like we finna take over.
We finna turn up.
It's only up from here, bro.
Yeah.
It's only
We're gonna be uprooted. And so yeah. Also, don't forget to, you know, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm knowing that you have a lot of subscribers from all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Who all over, you know.
Do my outro.
Go ahead, subscribe that thing. And I just also, I was trying to give a little plug as well for all those people who are all around the world. You know what I'm saying? If you can't be here present for the, you know, the fundraiser event, or you also want to help us change lives, you know what I'm saying? You can also go to unitevirtualnetwork.com, and there's a donate link on there where we have our campaign going on, our fundraiser. I said so, but also, like I said, be sure to subscribe to here, because if you don't subscribe to here, you won't see dope people like, you know, like me on the stage. You know what I'm saying? You won't hear these dope conversations and get to see her shed those beautiful tears, because I saw her shed those tears and I'm happy. So we outside, you know what I'm saying? So thank you. That was a little gift right there.
Outro. That's what's up. I'm gonna do that and just put that in the episodes, like, bro.
Hey, tag it. Go ahead. You can use it. It's all yours.
Thank you. I be trying to tell them it's free.
Hey, get it.
Think about that. Imagine something being free and you just don't want to hit subscribe. Come on, bro. That's
y'all. I know y'all subscribe to Mr. Beast and all those different people who be telling y'all sweet nothings.
Right.
Trying to tell you down a rabbit hole that ain't gonna lead you to what we talking about.
Right, but you subscribe to people who do goofy dances. Like, bruh, we trying to save your life. We trying to give you education. We trying to pull you out the hood. Like,
didn't you say you understood Harriet? See, look, this is Harriet problems. This is what Harriet be dealing with.
This is what Harriet be dealing with. Trying to save some people they don't want to be saved. Listen,
all you have to do is subscribe. That's all you got to do.
That's all you have to do. Imagine all you have to do is hit subscribe. And if you want it to be an A+ overachiever, hit the like button. And if you really are trying to be a blessing to somebody else, share it. Like that's literally and imagine everything's free. Imagine everything being free. And it's just like you don't want to do it. So then when I put a price tag on something, then you want to pay for it. That's crazy. That's crazy.
They want to stand in lines and stuff like that. I think that's what you should do. I think you should put a price to it.
I'm about to.
Make them stand in line and wait for it.
That's it. Like I'm gonna be like these people talking about, oh, you want the rest of the conversation? Go to Patreon.
Come 2024, all right. Y'all don't get it now. The price is going up.
Right. Yesterday's price is not today's price. That's finna be. Look, I'm telling y'all right now. Y'all got about a 6 month. Y'all got a 6 month warning on this one.
That part.
Okay. Y'all got a 6 month warning on this because we could only be free for so long. Like y'all not gonna help us. We're gonna build with the people who want to help. So
that part.
You feel me? Make sure, like he said, okay, if you following me, you better be following Louis. You better be following Unite Virtual Network. I don't understand. But
yeah, I'll be linked on your stuff. Like I said, we creating a partnership right now. So it's all good, you know.
That's it. Oh, I got
me. Boop, boop, boop.
That's it. I was like, I done been promoted and everything. So y'all know this was tight. This was a blessing. Have a beautiful rest of your week, whatever you're doing. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and we gonna see y'all. We gonna see y'all on the flip side.
Peace, love, and life, family.
Peace out. Hey, say that.
Deuces.
Y'all, what's good, Uprooted Fam? I really hope you enjoyed that last episode. And the way that you can let me know, hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Please share, okay? If this blessed you, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. And that's how we grow. So, again, like, share, and if you are not subscribed, what are you doing? It's free. It's free, y'all. Subscribe. Also, if you have not picked up your merch, hey now, say now. Go ahead and hit up UprootedNetwork.com. Again, that is UprootedNetwork.com. Get your merch, get all your podcast links there. And we're going to be rolling out programming pretty soon, and you're going to want to be registered. I'm just telling you, make sure you are following us and make sure that you are tapping in with your girl. Love y'all all so much. Have a blessed day.